Good day to you all, and welcome back to Data Analysis with Power BI. Today, we are already on our uh, Canvas view, that's the Power BI environment where we have loaded our data in the previous video. Now, what we are going to be doing next is how to explore this data and do some visualization based on the analysis we did from the previous lesson. Uh, from the previous lesson I did with Python, we're going to be doing this in Power BI today. Now, that's one thing we'll be doing. But before that, I felt it's necessary I bring up a concept uh, into this video, such as we have been used to this default panel method whereby our visuals is just in this rectangular box. But in a case where you don't want it in this form, which is 60, which is 16 by 9, what you could do is first and foremost, you could select an empty canvas like this without any option. Then you come to your visualization pane, then you select canvas, then you select format page, then you could come to canvas and select something like 3 by 4. If you notice, it has changed. You're going to be having a 3 by 4 dimension. You could also come and say a letter. You notice it's more of a letter form now, depending on how you want to do your visuals. You could say two tips. That means it's just picking a particular visual or the likes. Then you could do custom. That maybe you just you put in your values by yourself. Okay, I think this value is okay. You understand? So that's just a concept I felt is necessary for us. But I'll be working with this. But in case you want to do your own design, I said it earlier on, you could do some further customization with that. You could play around with that and see how you could do some designs. Then likewise, you could do some additional. You could change the background color of the whole canvas. You could add images to it, that's to the background of the whole canvas. Then you could add a wallpaper to the canvas. Maybe I just click one. Now look at this is a visualization on its own, and then you could do some other plenty of stuff with having your canvas even before designing. Most often we do our visualization before we design. You could have some defined plain template. Maybe you want to have a watermark design under your background. You could do that before we move into this course now. The next thing, that's just an intro into this course. Then we'll be looking at our data sets. Our data set has been uploaded successfully into our Power BI. Then okay, let's go back to our look at something from here from my browser. We have the employment type, which we want to do this same thing. We want to reproduce this with Power BI. Now, if you notice something, we have um, we have the employment type, and then we have the percentage of each employment type, and there's a label of each. So quickly, what we'll do is, if we want to do that in our own end from Power BI, what you just have to do is, since we know, I will start with the table, and we know that or we could start with a column chart. Now, since we have a column chart from there, we could say that on our y-axis just now, we have the employment type. You drag in your, you drag in your employment type into your y-axis. And since we're going to do a percentage count of the employment type, so we'll still drag in our employment type here. But take note, you're going to be changing this to, you come to show. If you notice, there is no percentage here, there is no percentage, but if you click on show value as, you could see percentage of ground total. You select that so that you could have zero. If you notice now in your visualization, you have 0 to 100%. Now, another thing we noticed from the video from the other end is that there was a label in each of them. Now we could decide to put a label, turn on the label on. Once we turn it on now, you notice there's a label at the top of each entity. Now for the position, we might decide to put it inside, because as we have it here, we have it inside. Okay, this is for inside. Why these are not inside is because the column bar charts are not up. So if we come back to our Power BI, if you notice, we could have them inside, but since that's not working, we could leave our own auto, let it be outside. This is better for our own view. Then you could say that you want to draw this, down to this point, and then okay, that's fine. The orientation is horizontal. If you needed to change the label type, you could do that like this, whereby each of them is horizontal on it. I prefer this. Okay, let's have it as this. Now another thing we could easily do is that we could go to the title. Let's see, there's a title. Let's just say percentage. Okay, that's okay. It's just saying grand total percentage of employment by the type, by the employment type. That is fine. Then, but since we already have that as the header, I'll come back to my visuals on my visualization pin. Then I want to off. Okay, I want to off the label for the y-axis. I don't want the label on the y-axis. That is the title. I'll turn it off. I don't want that. Then this downside, if you don't want it, let's check out what we have here. Okay, we have that. Then fine, that's okay. But let me see. If we turn on this, then we could say show. Okay, that's fine. Let's just turn it off. We don't need it. Okay, and if you notice, we have already exactly reciprocated what we have in that page. In the next video, we'll move to subsequent visuals that we have to analyze. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.